Alright, so this next video is the concept of too much is the same as not enough. What does this mean? Well, this is a phrase I got from the Book of Five Rings by Musashi, and what he was saying at this point was, as a samurai, as a warrior, you never want to be overly skilled in one thing and completely disregard other things. If you overdevelop in one area, other areas will naturally be underdeveloped. So how can I explain this in another term? Think of a basketball player. I don't know. Maybe they can dunk like crazy. They've got ups like a motherfucker. But can they shoot? Well, if not, then I don't really know how much value they have to the team. What about, can they defend? Are they a team player? Too much in any of these things is the same as not enough in all of the other things. So what does this mean to me as an artist? Well, for a long time, I kind of focused, I still do, I kind of focused on getting things that I thought would help me become a better artist. So let's see, to give you an illustration of how pathetic this kind of attitude is, let's see. I have, we'll start with the books. Now remember, I only have 500 hours of drawing under my belt. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But over the years, I've collected a multitude of books and online resources and stuff. And let's see, I'll go through all of them as I can. So this is the one I'm using right now. Constructive Anatomy. It's probably backwards for you. Constructive Anatomy, George Bridgman. Great book. Alright. Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. Betty Edwards. Great book. I have the workbook of the same thing. I'm sure it's a great book. Dynamic Figure Drawing by Vern. There goes my book thing. Great book. Let's set this back up. Alright. Yeah, that must show you how many books I have, right? Strength Training Anatomy. It's really more like a workout guide, but if you look inside, it has a lot of really cool anatomically accurate drawings. It's a really great resource. Drawing the Head and Figure by Jack Ham. Awesome book. Glenn Vilppu's Guide to Drawing the Figure, the Drawing Manual. Great book. Awesome book. The Best of Bridgman. This is three of George Bridgman's other books. One on heads, one on hands, and one on just general life drawing. Cool stuff. Nicolaides, The Natural Way to Draw. This is like a 1-year, 3 hours a day course, basically, that you could take yourself through to learn how to draw. Awesome. Keys to Drawing by Bert Dodson. This is kind of along the same lines as Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain for beginner artists. Drawing for Older Children and Teens, which I got when I was probably 20, which creative method for adult beginners too. Again, kind of along the same lines as Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. Muscles in Motion by Glenn Fabry. And this is kind of for animators. He's an animator or something. It's a lot of stuff of bodybuilders, just to see how muscles work when they're in motion. Awesome. The Art of Drawing Manga by Ben Crafta. And, I got this when I was a little bit younger. I wanted to draw manga. Cool stuff, whatever, right? I haven't done a damn thing in like any of these books. And I have a couple more, too. We're just not in this little collection here. I haven't done anything with almost any of these books. I've gone through a couple of exercises and Keys to Drawing. I've done a couple of exercises in Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. But why? Why did I get all of these books if I wasn't even going to read? Or, I mean, I flipped through all of them. Flipped through. Just thumb through, look at the pictures, oh, that's cool, and then I just put them down. I put them back on the bookshelf or whatever. Why would I get the next book if I haven't really done anything with the first book? And how many books is this? I don't even want to count right now. But the point is that too much resource hoarding, and I have tons of tutorial videos saved on my hard drive, like 55 gigabytes worth of videos and books that I found on the internet. And so, all this hoarding for resources, all this hoarding for stuff I think is going to make me better. I have a bunch of sketchbooks. Most of them are mostly unused. I have a bunch of pencils. Most of them are mostly unsharpened or unused. What else do I have? Just in general, the story of my life right now. I know, I keep dropping stuff. Here, I'll show you. I got this sketchbook recently at Walmart, and I don't think I've taken any pages out of it. So, I got this within maybe the past week, past 2 weeks, maybe past 3 weeks. One page, this is kind of hard to show you on 2 pages, 3 pages, hey, 4 pages, 5 pages. This is a few more pages than I anticipated. Okay, 5 pages. And again, I have way more sketchbooks than that. Way more. Way more. I got that one just because it was a different size. I got this one recently because it was a different size, or just more practice paper. But what's the point? What is the use in getting all of these resources, all of these tools, if you're not going to use them? Too much is the same as not enough. I have too much resource. I've spent too much time finding these resources and not enough time putting them to use. I can assure you, I'd be a pretty good artist by now if I spent the last 2 to 3 years that I've been sulking about how bad of an artist I am, going through these books and learning from them and drawing from them. Now, when I say going through these books, I don't just mean reading them, and that's a video for another time. But to actually go through, I'm going to actually do this. I want to do this. I'm going to start this as a project on this project of Spiral Soul Artist. I'm going to go through Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain in the workbook, and I'm going to do it to completion. That's something I want to get across, is that you shouldn't try to halfway do something. I haven't even halfway done any of these books, but there's so much to learn from them. Don't let it go to waste. If you've gone through the trouble of looking for tutorials on YouTube, don't just watch and try to absorb. It'll kind of help your next drawing, but not enough to where you're going to be as awesome as the person doing the tutorial. It takes lots of practice. It takes lots of actual application, using your hand, getting your brain and your body involved into learning it, and not just watching it, and not just flipping through it. All of these books, and I could have even more. I still go on Amazon and surf for more books I could buy. They don't help at all if I don't use them. So yes, please use your resources. Whatever you've got, whatever you found, use them. And narrow them down, I think is a good idea. If you're like me and you have tons of resources that you could be using, narrow it down to a few and work from just those. Put all the other ones away. On my hard drive, what I've personally done is I still have a backup of all the resources I've collected, but I've deleted a vast majority of them from my working hard drive, I guess, of that were just not applicable to me. Things that are beyond my skill level, things that I won't get to right now. In these personal books, what I've decided to do is I'm going to have only 3. I brought out so many just now. I'm only going to use Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain and Constructive Anatomy. And I don't want to see the other books until I get past these. Cutting this off now.